commentary as well. You can follow us at _Sport Media on Facebook, at _MM on Twitter and Instagram. Lights coming on then for this next heat at Donington Park. Out they go, away we go then for the start of this race. Portsmouth on pole position for the randomly drawn grid. Much cleaner starts this time than the previous heat we saw. A very good start indeed, and off go Portsmouth. So problems there at Redgate Corner straight away. Don't know if there was any contact involved. There's been some contact involving Southampton, Loughborough and De Montfort. But I think they are all pretty much running again. But slightly clear. Oh, and there's a contact there coming off of Old Hairpin. And who's that? Who's going to be in the gravel? It's the number 25. It's Manchester. So Manchester in trouble here. On board with the number 10. 28B, sorry. So this is going to be 28B. This is George Palozzi. So George Palozzi with ahead of us is going to be LJMU, I think. Yes, it is. So George Lunt back out there again. So quite a few fast drivers in this race, coming to the end of lap number 1. It's going to be the number 3 in the lead of this race so far. So De Montfort, Christian Bessel has got to the front of the field. Then George Lunt in second place for Liverpool, John Moores in the red machine there, and third place, and spun round and contact in the back, and a big hit as well. George Palozzi, I think that was getting into the back of George Lunt, and then I think it was Wallage, George Wallage being collected, the Imperial driver. So a couple of our drivers who've done really well in previous rounds, struggling a little bit with the Lotus 49. Was that an error? Yes, I think it was an error from Palozzi. He's now being swarmed by a number of drivers, or maybe he's letting some of them back through. There's more contacts, and Palozzi's off. Palozzi is off and in the gravel. And that's up there at McLean's corner. And this is going from bad to worse for George Palozzi. He's now going to get challenged by Manchester. Loughborough have been off as well. Joe Wilkes. There is the NFST car. Fortunately for them, they're a long way off the back of the field already. So chaos reigns again here at Donington Park. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Christian Bessel has a 6.8 second lead. Surely, Dowie, he's just got to keep his head forward now and keep it calm. We saw a similar thing in some of the test events yesterday. The leader get out front and keep the head down. Christian Bessel has got a good chance here for a bit of a local area win. De Montfort, of course, based in Leicester, not too far from the Donington Park circuit.
Yeah, he'll definitely just keep his head down. He doesn't know the chaos that's happening behind. He'll expect that everyone's pretty hot on his heels.
Joe Wilkes for Loughborough, fighting now for 6th place with Manchester. And you see the Manchester car there just getting out of shape. The Manchester driver trying to get some heat in the tyres perhaps, because the back end of that Lotus 49 does not want to sit down at the moment for Grupovici. Battle for 3rd place now. This is, in fact, Imperial have taken that position. Imperial have got through and passed Portsmouth for 3rd place. So we're riding on board with Callum here. And was that a problem that I just saw for LJMU? Have they lost? Yes, they have. They've lost a lot of time, LJMU. And there's contact again, and LJMU are off and into the gravel. So this is getting to be quite a chaotic race. Has a change of position there. The number 7 of Imperial goes round the outside through Old Hairpin. That's a decent move from George Wallage. So George Wallage, apologies, no, it wasn't LJMU having problems. It was one of the other back markers. I've just seen them on the track map, but they are still out front going through Coppice Corner, or just ahead. Yeah, just caught a quick sight of them there out in the distance ahead of the red number 7 of Imperial. There it is. I'm going to be honest, Dewey, I'm not sure how I feel about this. A Lotus being being painted red. Looks far too Ferrari-like.
They did have an original livery though, didn't they, like that? Isn't it the last
That is
striped
true, yeah. You
cars?
did have the gold leaf liveries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just in the engineering sense that Team Lotus were pioneers. They were the first team to run with sponsorship in Formula One. Something that you can't really imagine without today, with the corporate branding on the cars. Here's your leader though, Christian Bessel. He's got a back marker just ahead, and I think that's a keyboard controlled car, just by the way it's being manoeuvred around the circuit. But Christian Bessel continuing to lead now, 7.6 seconds last time around ahead of George Lunt. There is George in the number 10. Down into the chicane then. Running very nicely at the moment. This will be another good result for LJMU. So look at the lap times last time around. 109.1 for Bessel, 109.5 for Lunt, 108.5 though for Warledge. Imperial on the charge yet again here in this race. They've got some good pace in that Lotus 49 coming down through Craner Curve. You see the car sliding around. Great stuff from George Warledge down into Old Hairpin. Not quite using all of the circuit. The line's working. The line's quick past Starkey's Bridge and then up to McLean's. Still on board with Imperial at the moment. Trying to hunt down Liverpool John Moores. 3 minutes to do so. The gap last time around was 2.3 seconds. But we've seen from Imperial today, but I'm just going to remind myself where they were after round 6. Yeah, they were in 14th place, 3 wins, a 4th, a 7th and a 9th. They could be another bit of a dark horse here if they keep pumping these results in and getting up into at least a B final and maybe even more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's quite tight in that area of the table, isn't it? Just a few points can make a difference between quite a huge amount of places.
Back on board with our leader then, Christian Bessel. A bit of traffic to negotiate. One of it's the NFST car. It just keeps the drivers left. Good driving there from Said Nassar. No problems there for our leader. Gap between second and third, 2.2 seconds. 2 minutes to go then, so it should be 2 more laps. Yeah, 2 more laps for Christian Bessel to close out a win for the Leicester-based university, not too far, right in the middle of the Midlands, in East Midlands Airport, just off to the side, as one of the back markers fallen off the road there. Not to worry about that. That's one way for second and third place to get their way past. It's still George Lunt ahead of George Warledge. However, Warledge has pulled in a huge chunk of time on that last lap. The gap now 1.5 seconds as Lunt is out of shape coming out of Old Hairpin. Just about gathers it back up before they get past Starkey Bridge, but Warledge will be licking his lips now at the potential of a second place for Imperial in this race. We're hoping to maybe make a move down into Redgate. It'd be a bit of a bold one to run it up the inside into the final chicane, but on board now with George Warledge for Imperial College. Hard braking down into the final chicane. You can see him visibly closing. It's a good run off the chicane down the pit straight. Well, he's not going to have the opportunity on this lap into Redgate, but maybe get it close down through into Old Hairpin. You can overtake down into Old Hairpin. You've got to have the move done nice and early. he's just going to wait for now. But time's starting to tick on by. This will be the last lap of the race. George Lunt gets it under control. That's where we had the issue 1 lap ago. That was much better this time. That was 0.8 of a second. What can George Wallage do here? I think he's got to force George Lunt into a mistake in that Liverpool John Moore's car. Leader is on the final lap, and in fact is halfway down the back straight before the final chicane. It's going to be a win for De Montfort. But are LJMU going to hold on to second place here? I think they are. They've just got to get through the final chicane nice and safely, and they do so. It's going to be a win for Christian Bessel and De Montfort University, but it is going to be a bit of a drag race to the line for second place. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Liverpool John Moores on the line for George Lunt. Less than 0.2 of a second between George Lunt and George Wallage for Imperial, but more good points for Imperial. Fourth place is going to go, I believe, to Paul.